Welcome dear student and Jai Swaminarayan. In the previous video, we were discuss a Newton first law of the motion. Newton first law of the motion gives the uh, definition of the force, right? Reason behind the motion of the object. In the second video, we were discuss the Newton's second law of the motion. The Newton's second law of the motion gives the value of the force, magnitude of the force, what amount of the force is required to produce the acceleration A, right? Now in this video we will discuss the Newton's third law of the motion, but before that we will discuss the examples of the Newton's second law. So dear student, let us revise the some points regarding the Newton's second law of the motion. So dear student, understand Newton's second law and what is the use of the Newton's second law. The rate of change of linear momentum is equal to the external force acting on the body. Or we can say that the mathematical form of the Newton's second law, the external force acting on the body is equal to the product of the mass and the acceleration. So here the force F is only the external force acting on the body. We does not consider the internal forces acting on a body, right? So now dear student, we will take some examples regarding the Newton's second law. First one is the example number 5.2 given in the textbook also. Example number 5.2. A bullet of a mass 0.04 kg moving with a speed of a 90 meter per second enters a heavily wooden block and is stopped after distance of a 60 centimeter. So distance traveled by the bullet in a wooden block is a 60 centimeter. What is the average resistive force exerted by the block on the bullet? So here the average resistive force exerted by the block on the bullet is same as the force acting on the block by a bullet, right? So here a bullet of a mass, so mass of the bullet is given to you 0.04 kg moving with the speed of the 90 meter per second. So here the initial speed of the bullet u is equal to 90 meter per second. We can take v0 also, right? Initial velocity u is equal to 90 meter per second, or initial velocity v0 is a 90 meter per second. Now enters the heavily wooden block and is stopped. Stop, that means final velocity is a 0, right? So here the final velocity of the bullet v is equal to 0. So initial velocity is 90 meter per second, final velocity is 0 after traveling a distance 60 centimeter. So distance traveled by the bullet on a block, wooden block, is a 60 centimeter. So we take a s is equal to 60 centimeter, or 60 centimeter, convert 60 centimeter into meter, s is equal to 0.6 meter, right? Now how we can find the resistive force exerted by the block on the bullet? So resistive force exerted by the block on the bullet, F is equal to ma. So we need to calculate the acceleration A. So according to the third equation of the motion, v square minus u square is equal to 2as, right? So acceleration A, or we can say that the retardation A is equal to minus u square by 2s. So here the initial velocity is 90, minus 90 into 90 divided by 2 into s is equal to 60 centimeter. We take a 0.6. So it is equal to minus 6750, right? So here the retarded force exerted, retardation produced in the bullet after entering into the wooden block is a minus 6750. So from that we can easily calculate the force on the bullet, by a block, F is equal to m into A, right? So according to the Newton's second law of the motion, the average resistive force F is equal to m into A. M is a 0.04 into A is a 6750. Here we take the minus 6750. So force applied on the block by a bullet is a minus 270 Newton. But here we need to calculate the average resistive force exerted by a block on a bullet. So we take a plus, right? So average resistive force F is equal to M into A, 0.04 into 6750, we get a 270 Newton, right? Understand here, student? So now example number 5.3. The motion of a particle of a mass m is described by a y is equal to ut plus 1 half gt square. Here you know that the second equation of the motion u is equal to y is equal to ut plus 1 half gt square. Find the force acting on the particle. So here if you want to find the force acting on the particle, we need to find the acceleration, because according to the Newton's second law of the motion, F is equal to ma. So m is the mass of the particle and a is the acceleration. So here from this equation of the so here in the equation, from the equation of the displacement, y is equal to ut plus 1 half gt square, we need to calculate the acceleration. So how we can calculate the acceleration from the equation of the displacement? Differentiation of the displacement with respect to time gives the velocity, and the differentiation of the velocity with respect to time gives the acceleration. So here, dear student, equation of the displacement is given to you. Y is equal to ut plus 1 half gt square. So from this equation of the displacement, find the v is equal to dy by dt, right? Differentiation of displacement with respect to time, we get the velocity, right? So how we can get? So here this differentiation of ut, u is the initial velocity, that is a constant, and differentiation of the t, that is a 1. So v is equal to dy by dt, we get right here d by dt of ut plus d by dt of ut. What we get? D by dt of ut. Here u is a constant, differentiation of t, that is a 1, right? So we get a u only. Here plus 1 half g constant, differentiation of the t square, that is a 2t. So here 1 half into g constant, right, into differentiation of t square, that is a 2t. Here 2 to cut, we get a g into t, right? Got it? So v is equal to dy by dt. Differentiating this equation, we get a u plus gt. So here we get the velocity of the particle v is equal to dy by dt and u plus gt, right? Here how we can differentiate? U initial velocity is constant, differentiation of the t is a 1, right? So we get a u plus 1 half g constant, differentiation of t square is a 2t, t2 to cut out, so we get a gt. Now from this velocity, differentiation of the velocity, we get the acceleration. So acceleration is equal to dv by dt. So again we differentiate this equation, u constant initial velocity, so differentiation of the constant is a 0, right? And g constant, differentiation of the time t is equal to 1, right? So we get the acceleration is equal to g, that is the acceleration due to gravity. Now according to the Newton's second law of the motion, F is equal to m into a, right? So here we get the acceleration is equal to g. So we get the equation of the motion F is equal to m into g, right? Understand? So now we will start go to the next exam point, that is the impulse of force, or we can say that the only impulse. What is the impulse? Suppose we applying a force any other body, right? And due to the force, the body will in the motion, right? Now how much time we applying a force is the change in the linear momentum is depends on the how much time we applying a force on the body, right? And the product of the force and the time is called the impulse of the force. So here the impulse is defined as the product of the force and the time, right? Here the force is a vector quantity, so you can say that the impulse is also a vector quantity and it is in the direction of the force, right? So impulse, what is the impulse of the force? Impulse of the force is a force, the product of the force and the time for which we applying a force on the body, right? So we can say that impulse is equal to force into time, right? So according to this, the what is the SI unit of the impulse? The SI unit of the force is a Newton, and the SI unit of the time is a second. So SI unit of the impulse is a Newton into second. So from that you can easily derive the dimensional formula of the impulse also, right? So derive the dimensional formula of the impulse. What we get the dimensional formula of the impulse? So here the dimensional formula of the impulse is a m1 l1 t minus 1. Now according to the Newton's second law of the motion, F is equal to delta p by delta t. What is the Newton's second law of the motion? What is the Newton's second law of the motion? The rate of change of linear momentum is equal to the force acting on a body. So you can say that F is equal to delta P by delta T. So according to the Newton's second law of the motion, F is equal to delta P by delta T. So from this equation, if you calculate the impulse, impulse is equal to F delta T, force product of the force and the time for which the force is acting on the body is called the impulse. So impulse is equal to F into delta T is equal to delta P. So here the impulse of the force is equal to the change in the linear momentum, right? So the linear momentum of the body changes as per the force acting on the body and at what time the force is exerted on the body. Suppose we take an example. We throw one ball on cricket ball on a wall, right? So after hitting the cricket ball to the wall, after hitting it rebounds in the opposite direction. So in this case, the change in the linear momentum is we can calculate, right? And from this change in the linear momentum we can calculate the impulse of the force, right? Understand, dear student? So now we discuss the one example regarding that how we can calculate the impulse of the force. Example number 1.5.4, right? A batsman hits a back a ball straight in the direction of the bowlers without changing its velocity initial speed of the 12 meter per second. So here the initial speed of the ball is at 12 meter per second, right? Now batsman hits a ball in the opposite direction, in the straight direction of the bowler. So in the opposite direction of the initial speed, right? Initial velocity. Now if the mass of the ball is a 0.15 kg, determine the impulse imparted to the ball. Assume the linear motion of the ball. So here the cricket ball is moving towards the batsman with the speed of the 12 meter per second. The cricket ball hits the ball back in the direction opposite, exactly opposite to the initial direction, right? So without changing its speed. So final velocity of the ball v is equal to 12 meter per second. So here the direction of the motion, initial direction and the final direction are opposite. So we take the initial velocity of the ball u is equal to minus 12 meter per second and final velocity of the ball v is equal to 12 meter per second. Why? Because the direction of the ball is a different, speed of the ball is the same, right? Mass of the ball is given to you 0.15 kg. So the impulse is equal to change in the linear momentum, final momentum minus initial momentum. So here the final momentum is a m into v minus initial momentum is a m into u. We take a m common, m into v minus u. So we get a 0.15 kg into 12 minus u is a minus 12. So if you calculate this, we get a 3.6 Newton into meter. So change in the linear momentum is a 3.6 kilogram meter per second and impulse is a 3.6 Newton into second, right? So if you try to like this, if you write the change in the linear momentum, write the unit kg meter per second. But if you write the impulse of the force, try to write the unit Newton into second, right? So understand, dear student, this example. So okay, dear student, understand about impulse and the example number 5.4. Now we are going towards the Newton's third law of motion. Dear student, we know that the Newton first law gives the definition of the force, right? Newton's second law. In the Newton's second law, we will calculate a force acting on the object, right? Force is equal to rate of change of the linear momentum, right? Or we can say that the force is equal to product of the mass into acceleration. But how the force is exerted on a object, right? What is the origin of the force? That gives the Newton's third law of the motion. So dear student, here the Newton's third law of the motion gives the origin of the force. You know the Newton's third law of the motion, right? You were study in the standard 9th also, right? So Newton's third law of the motion gives the origin of the force. How the force is created on the body. How the force is exerted on the body. When the force is exerted on the body. So to every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction, and they act on the different body. So dear student, the force according to the Newton's third law, what is the Newton's third law of the motion? The Newton's third law of the motion is to every action there is equal and opposite reaction. Action and the reaction are always equal and the opposite, and they act on the two different bodies. So this statement is known as the Newton's third law of the motion. You can write like this also. Every action and the reaction are always equal and the opposite direction, right? So here the action and the reaction are two different forces acting on the object. Suppose we consider the two bodies, body A and the body B, right? So here we can say that the force is exerted on the body A due to the body B, right? That is the FAB. What is the FAB? FAB is the force acting on the object A due to object B, right? Similarly, the force is acting on a body B due to the body A also, right? FBA. What is the FBA? FBA is the force exerted on the B due to A. So every body in the universe exert the force on the every other body, right? So for example, here if we consider these two objects in the universe, object A and the object B. So object A exert the force on the object B. Similarly, object B exert the force on the object A, right? Understand, dear student? So here this one force is called the action force and the another force is called the reaction force, right? So according to the Newton's third law of the motion, Newton's third law of the motion states that action and the reaction force are always equal and opposite direction. So we can say that here the force exerted on the object A due to object B is same as the force acting on the object B due to object A, but both the forces are in the opposite direction and both the forces are acting on the two different body, right? So dear student, understand the Newton's third law of the motion. Let us understand with the help of the some example. Suppose when a bullet is fired from a gun, it exerts a forward force on the bullet and the bullet exerts an equal and opposite force on the gun. That is the recoil force of the gun, right? So here the action and reaction. Here bullet applies the in this situation, if we consider the accelerating force applied by a gun on the bullet, that is the action force, and as a reaction of this, the bullet also applies the force on the gun, that is the recoil force on the gun, that is opposite direction. So according to the Newton's third law of the motion, action and the reaction force are always same and in the opposite direction. So when we fire a bullet from the gun, we experience the backward force in the form of the reaction force, right, applied on the gun by a bullet. Understand? Second example, when a rocket is fired, the force of the burning gas coming out, that is the action force, exert an equal and opposite force on the rocket, that is the reaction force, and it moves in the upward direction. So here the action force is a force on the rocket. So when the hot gas is coming out, the force applied by a rocket on the hot gas, right, it is in the downward direction. But same force, reaction force, the force applied on the rocket by a gas, it is in the upward direction. And because of this, the rocket is move in the upward direction. Understand, dear student, these two examples. Similar, we can take the some examples of the Newton's third law. So when we swim in the river or in a swimming pool, we have to apply a force on the water, right? So that type of the similar example you can write by yourself also. So now, dear student, we will discuss the some important point regarding the Newton's third law, right? Here the first point, what is the Newton's third law of the motion? Action and the reaction are always equal and the opposite, and they are act on the different body. So here the action and the reaction are the different types of the forces acting on the body. So here the term action and the reaction in the third law means nothing but the force acting on the body. So here the forces, action force and the reaction force, always occurs in a pair. The force on a body A by a B is equal to the and opposite to the force on the body B by a body A. So here this in the nature, the force occurs always in a pair, right? So when we applying a force on the body applies the force on other body, right? So if we apply a force on a wall, right, suppose we hit a wall by our hands, the wall also applies the force on us, right? So effect of this wall apply a force on our body, we experience the effect of this, right? So here this point states that the force always occurs in the force available in the nature always in a pair, right? The force cannot alone, એકલો force, the force cannot alone, એકલો force હોય નહીં, right? So the force always in a pair. So if one body experience the force on the other body, the other body is also experience the force on the first body, right? So here the term action and the reaction in the third law may give a wrong impression that the action comes before the reaction. So action is the cause and the reaction is the effect. There is no cause the effect relation implies in the third law. So here in this, like this, the action force is occurring first and the reaction force is the effect of the action. That is not a meaning of this, right? So here sometimes the reaction force is occurring first and then after action is occurring. So here the force on the A by B and the force on a B by A act at the same instant, right? So here the action occurring first, reaction occurring then the effect of the action, that is not a meaning of that. Here the force acting, action force and the reaction force are acting at the same instant, right? So here the force acting on the A by B and the force acting on the B by A are at the same instant. By the same reasoning, any one of them may be called the action and other reaction. We can say that any one of the force is considered as an action, any other force is considered as a reaction, right? Understand, dear student? So here the meaning of this action and reaction is that like this, not a like this. Action, if we applying a action on the body, and as a reaction they apply a force on the other body to the first body. Here the action and the reaction force are acting on the same body at the same time, right? Third point, the action and the reaction forces act on the different bodies, not on the same body, right? So consider a pair of the body A and B, right? The force acting on the A due to the B is considered as action force. So FAB, and the force acting on a B due to A is considered on the reaction force. So FAB and FBA, the magnitude of the both the force are same, but both the force are acting on the two different body, right? So FAB is equal to minus FBA. FAB is a force on A by B and FBA is a force on a B by B. So here the action force acting on the body A. Reaction force is acting on the body B, right? So we can say that the action and the reaction forces are act on the two different body, right? So understand, dear students, these all the 3 points of the important points of the Newton's third law. Thank you very much for watching my video.